Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Hindmarsh Shire Council meeting again. Hindmarsh Shire Council acknowledges that this meeting is being held on the lands of Watchabolik, Jardwa, Jali, Werrigai and Yuckabalk nations, and we acknowledge them as traditional owners of country. We recognise the important ongoing role that Indigenous people have in our community and pay our respects to the elders past and present. This meeting is being broadcast on the internet and the recording of the meeting will be published on Council's YouTube channel and linked to Council's website. As a visitor in the public gallery, you may be filmed. By remaining in the public gallery, you consent to being filmed and for the recording of you to be made public available by Council. A copy of Council's live streaming and recording of Council meetings policy is available at the back of the room and on Council's website. Please speak with one of our staff members if you have any questions. And I'll now hand over to Councillor Clark to read out a statement of values. Thank you, Councillor Clark.
Thank you, Mayor. It's my commitment to come prepared to every meeting, fostering a respectful and inclusive environment where accountability and approachability are at the core of our actions. We value and encourage innovation, collaboration and open communication, always keeping in mind the well-being and the needs of our community. Together, we stand united as one, working towards shared goals with mutual respect and consideration.
Thank you. Okay, apologies, no apologies today. Item 3, declarations of interest. Is there anyone in the room that has a general or material conflict of interest on any item on the agenda? No. Okay. Item 4, confirmation of minutes and business arising and a recommendation. Councillor Roy.
I would like to move that the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on Wednesday, the 29th of July, 2026 at the Nil Council Chamber, 92 Nelson Street, Nil, as circulated to council's be taken as read and confirmed.
Thank you. And a seconder, Councillor Aitken. No one wants to speak against the motion. Do you don't want to know? I don't think anyone needs to speak to the motion. I'll put the motion all in favour. Against, the motion is carried. Thank you. Item 4.2, business arising. Item 5, public question and submission time. Thank you, Mrs. CEO.
Thank you, Mayor. We have 2 questions today. Our first question is from Beth Campbell from Nil. Due to the high volume of traffic travelling too fast along Reithus Drive, I suggest you put a speed hump between Reithus's gate and our, being Campbell Silos gate. There has been several near misses at this intersection and I am very concerned for our workers. I'll hand over to Council's Director of Infrastructure to respond.
Thank you, Monica. I've prepared the response and reads as follows. Thank you, Beth, for raising safety concerns in the Reithus Drive. Since your last contact with Council on Monday, 3rd August 2026, I have inspected the site and met with you at your office to discuss the potential solution. Given the significant number of heavy vehicles that access this area due to being an industrial area, installation of a speed hump may not be the most appropriate treatment. Council's engineering team has been investigating various options to create a safe environment on the road, which includes the installation of 50 kilometres per hour sign to make drivers aware of the speed limit on the road, installation of a stop sign at the intersection of Reithus Drive and Wynnum East Road, including installation of a stop line, reduction of speed limit in Wynnum East Road to 60 kilometres per hour, approximately 200 metres south of the Western Highway, and installation of rumble strips in Reithus Drive. Our council report is included in today's council agenda, and if endorsed, the team will seek approvals for a proposal with Department of Transport and Planning before progressing ahead with implementation. Please note, any permanent changes to speed limit of streets and road require DTP approval. The officers will be in touch with you and provide the update on a regular basis.
Thank you.
Our second question today is from Wendy Werner from Japarrit. Could the Shire please comment on the new Nature Strip tree project? At the Jeparat Town Committee, we were led to believe that major thoroughfares would be the focus of this year's tree project, e.g. Charles Street, Roy Street, Jeparat. Why has this been changed to an ad hoc approach? How successful has the tree strategy been to date, i.e. how many have been planted and how many of those are still alive over the last 8 years? And how many do you plan to plant across the Shire and each of the towns during this current project? I'll hand to Council's Director of Infrastructure to respond.
Thank you, Micah. I'll read the response as follows. Thank you, Wendy, for raising your concerns regarding street tree planting. Council's street tree planting program continues to be guided by adopted Street and Reserve Tree Strategy 2018, which aims to improve urban amenity, increase shade and canopy cover, replace aging trees and maintain a diverse and sustainable street tree population across the Shire. Establishing and maintaining the trees can be challenging, particularly during extended dry periods and where community members do not want the trees planted on their nature strips. To improve the long-term success of new plantings, Council is seeking greater community involvement in the establishment phase. Current Nature Strip Tree Initiative is designed to identify residents who are willing to host the tree in front of their property and assist with watering during the establishment. Expression of interest will be assessed on a case-by-case basis, having regard to objective of the tree strategy, available planting space, underground and overhead services, potential impact on council infrastructure, and road and pedestrian safety. The initiative complements Council's broader street tree planting program. The major street and township entry corridors remains important priorities under the tree strategy, and community interest generated through this project will help inform future planting program across the Shire.
Thank you, Mr. Director of Infrastructure. Okay, I think that answers both those questions. I know anyway, council activity reports. And I've got a few that I can comment on. The Western Highway Action Group meeting I attended in Melton, which was going to have Bev MacArthur at, and she was unable to be there, which is a bit unfortunate, but it was an awful long way to go to a meeting, but she was meant to have been there on the day. I thought it would have been a good opportunity to network with her on the day. It didn't happen, but anyway, we've got a structure in place, I think, to put forward to the government, and I thought it was quite a good document. Citizenship ceremony I performed recently 12 new Australians, which was very humbling to be involved with, and from a wide range of nationalities, and it was a great day. I probably would need to discuss the boat tour we did of the Wimmera River at Dimboola, and I thought it was a great opportunity to have a look at the infrastructure in the river at Dimboola and what the ski club at Dimboola are doing, and the work they're doing. And I was very impressed with what they've done and what they've been doing and how well they've been doing it. So hopefully we can work with them more into the future. Warwick Hall Centenary I attended, and that was very well attended by a lot of people in the area, and I thought it was a great day, and there was fellow councillors and our CEO there as well. So and the Jeparat Weir photo opportunity I thought was great. It was a really good photo. Our Director of Infrastructure really stood out in the photo, and it was a really good clear photo. Councillor Barry was right up the back, but you could still see him in the background, and Chan and everyone else that was there, Councillor Hoy, sorry. And yeah, I thought it was a great photo, and we need to progress that challenge at every opportunity we get. So I don't think there's anything else I need to add. So I'll hand over to Councillor Barker. Thank you.
Mayor Ismay. Yes, we've had quite a busy month meeting up with lots of different people. There's been a few webinars online that have been quite interesting. They've been provided by the Municipal Association of Victoria. One was about Truth Under Pressure, which was talking about the differences between misinformation and disinformation. And I think it's really important in our current social and digital environments to understand how that can be manipulated and to make sure what we're hearing is actually correct. So that was a really useful webinar to attend. I also invited myself. Well, I was invited, but then I did actually go to the Nil AMP Society meeting where there was just a large number of our local farmers organising the show. And they were obviously really passionate about what they're doing and why they're doing it and how they want it to go. And so they invited me to speak. And that was a really great opportunity to hear their concerns or what supports they're looking for into the future as well. We did attend as part of being a councillor, we're required to attend mandatory training, which our council organised with an alliance of, well, how many councils is it? Six councils in our region. And so all of the councillors from the 6 councils were there. We met at Warwickville for Yarriambic Council, and it was really valuable opportunity to network and to also learn more about our role as councillors, which is always ongoing. Also did a online with the Victorian government has put up a webinar for Beyond Basics, and we listened to a seminar talking about creating programs in our councils, and it just shine a light on how completely different it is in rural versus metro. When a particular council, Banyule, was presenting about their inclusive employment program, where they create a program of like traineeships and apprenticeships within their council area for people who have mental health challenges, physical health challenges, cultural challenges, all different, that sort of supporting people who are challenged in any way, really. And at the end of the day, their council dedicates $700,000 a year to that program. We'd be pretty excited to be able to deliver something similar if we were in any way, shape or form supported and funded by the state government. But unfortunately, we're not in that. And a number of councils that were at that webinar also commented to the same. So it shows the disparity between metro and rural lives matter, and it seems like not sometimes state government. We also attended the Nil Town Advisory Committee working beat on a Sunday morning, which was actually really well attended. It was great to see people there sorting out all the Christmas carols, and our chairperson, Alison Dallenberg, organising us all. And so now we're completely ready for Christmas carols on the 12th of December. So that's amongst all the other things, that's the highlights of my month. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Butler. Councillor Aiken.
Thank you. So the first one we'll talk about is the Rainbow Scouts presentation and dinner. Look, well done to all the Scouts over the last 12 months. Congratulations on your work you've done during the year. A great job to the leaders and the parent helpers. Look, we wouldn't have Scouts if it wasn't for those people. So well done. Again, went to a number of AGMs and general meetings over the last month. Women Manor Pioneer Museum. Thank you to all the volunteers, and good on you for the new committee that have taken on this, an important role. Again, for the Urunga Homestead AGM and general meeting, thank you again for your volunteers over the last 12 months. It's a big job to run these areas of the old homestead, especially up in Rainbow. So we had a look through the Nil Silo Heritage Project over here at Nil the other week. I was amazed, didn't realise what was happening behind the fence over there. Again, well done to the volunteers and members. As Councillor Barker said about our mandatory training, and again, we went to on the boat trip down Timbula, as Councillor Ismay's already spoke on. Borak centenary celebrations, again, as Councillor Ismay and the Japarat, as Councillor Ismay spoke on that. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor Aiken. Councillor Barry.
Yeah, just in the last month, I've done similar things to yourself, a couple of meetings, briefings. The weir was good, the boat tour was good, but one thing I did go to, a bit different for me, I just happened to be in the right spot at the right time. I went at the youth council meeting. Oh, Anderson, she does a great job. They're an enthusiastic bunch of kids, but the thing that shocked me, there was a person there from the Grampian Shire. So they tried to copy off the Hindmarsh Shire, which is good to see. But yeah, no, that's all I done, those things. It was all good. And like I said, those solo, or what is it, the solo mob over there already, big job. Good on them. Good on them. Yeah.
Okay, that's it?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Councillor Clark.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I think fellow councillors have spoken on most of my things. Highlights, the Rainbow Scouts, as Councillor Aiken has said, fantastic job by the Scouts, but I think even more fantastic job by parents and the leaders with the huge amount of events those kids have opportunity to attend. Mandatory training for 2 days in Warwick. Certainly, as Councillor Barker has said, fantastic to be able to liaise with our fellow councillors from around the area and get together and talk about issues. And it's surprising how many are all the same, being nearly city councils versus regional or rural councils. The great divide there. And the last one is the Rail Freight Alliance meeting I attended in Melbourne. Fantastic. 2 things, I suppose, just for our public to be aware of is essentially the owners of the railway line from Melbourne to Adelaide have worked out in great common sense that it's better to have a big shutdown and do numerous work sites, and that's what they're going to be doing between Melbourne and Adelaide on the railway line there. It's having a big shutdown of the whole line for a substantial period to make multiple work sites and make repairs to that. That's going to be a big gain for freight rail. And the other one is the Maroona to Portland line. I believe it's going to be shut down for 7 months. And again, it's going to be an absolute massive amount of work go into that. And it's going to be an absolute huge benefit to our farmers freighting grain down to the Port of Portland, and also maybe it'll attract other customers to again get heavy transport off our roads and different freight to go down there. So certainly some fantastic meetings to go to and events to go to. So thank you.
If I might say, the Rail Freight Alliance was something that I might have said this before, but I used my casting vote to get us into the Rail Freight Alliance at the time. And that Maroona line was one of the essential things that Reid Mathers suggested that was important to us, and most definitely important to the grain receivable place at Dimboola in particular, and all our grain receivable sites. It will make a difference to our farmers' incomes in the freight cost because of that line being opened up to higher axle loads. So I think if that's one thing that's come out of it over all these years, it's really been worthwhile. So it was really good to see that project's going to happen. 250,000 for sleepers, I think they're going to lay.
Yeah, certainly. They're replacing a lot of the wooden sleepers with concrete sleepers. It's going to increase axle loads, and also the speed of the train, because the speed of the train down there from Maroona to Portland is absolutely abysmal.
Yeah.
This is certainly going to make freight travel faster at less cost. So it's just a win-win for our entire
area. Yeah. All right. Mrs. Bremble, sorry, Mr. CEO, sorry. Oh, Councillor Oy, sorry, I really missed you. My apologies. Councillor Oy, sorry.
Okay, thank you. So my highlight for last month was attending a events boot camp. So that was organised for a few shires within the Wimmera. So it's about how do we make events, better run and also the importance of economic development and community well-being by holding events. The other one was Jan Ballard's funeral. So she was a huge contributor to getting Jambulla winning, to win the Tiny Towns Awards. So that was, I guess, a significant passing. The manager training was really good too. The 6 shires coming together was a way of saving money as well. So that was a significant development to have that done, and also for me to understand, I guess, my role in a councillor. So it was a reminder. Of course, the importance of the Japarut Wheel, how that needs to be, I guess, fundraised because it's at the end of life. So we'll see how that comes along to raising $6 million. So thank you.
Thanks, councillor White. Now, Mrs. CEO.
I'm happy to take it as read.
That's read. No questions for the rest, yes?
Yes, I do. I'm interested to read all the activities of our CEO, Ms. Ravel. And I just wondering if she can comment on meeting with Emma Keeley MP and any other meetings that you had that were potentially advocating for the Japarut Ware or any other positions that we're advocating for currently.
Happy to answer your question, councillor Barker. Yes, so councillor Barker and myself met with Emma Keeley in July. We discussed a number of issues. We discussed the Japarut Weir, the need for funding for the replacement of the Japarut Weir and the support that we were seeking from Emma to help raise awareness of the need. For those in the community, Emma has sponsored a petition that's currently open. When I looked today, there was 327 signatures. I think it said that petition's open until the 31st. It has been promoted on council's Facebook page, so encourage the community to strongly join that petition and put their signatures on there. We also met to discuss the Dimbulla swimming pool. Following the community meeting, the shortfall in funding for the Dimbulla swimming pool, we spoke about the need for further funding, particularly for small rural councils around that have a number of pools that need to be maintained and upgraded, because what we're seeing is a lot of them are almost at end of life. We also discussed the need for a rural funding package for small rural councils just to help us remain sustainable into the future. And then significant discussion around advocating for increased mental health support in our communities. So councillor Barker and myself, on behalf of the 6 Wimmera Southern Mallee councils, are taking the lead on advocating for improved services. So that involves early intervention services that we currently struggle to access in our communities, and also acute beds. If somebody needs a bed at the moment in our community, they're having to travel down to Ballarat, and then usually they then have to travel further afield. We also met with the acting CEO of West Wimmera Health Service, Darren Welsh, to talk about our advocacy in relation to improved mental health services. Darren was completely on board and was going to discuss with his health cluster around how they could help advocate as well for improved services. I've had a number of meetings during the month as well with V-Line. So in relation to, for anyone that's travelled between Rainbow and Dimbulla recently, the S-Bends just out of Japarut, the level crossing at Japarut, the road is in such poor condition. The pedestrian crossing in High Street, Dimbulla, is not all abilities friendly. So I've had a number of meetings. So V-Line discussions have been in relation to the level crossing at Japarut and the S-Bends. And then there's been contact with ARTC around the pedestrian crossing at Dimbulla. Council's Director of Infrastructure and myself have a meeting with the Department of Transport on Friday. The issue we have at Japarut with the level crossing is V-Line are responsible for 3 metres from the track out, and so there's currently a yellow line that's being marked on the pavement, and then the Department of Transport are responsible for the 3 metre and beyond mark. So we're trying to facilitate V-Line and Department of Transport coming together to have something improved. They have put a temporary fix, they tell me, which is putting a sign up to say traffic hazard. So
Terrible.
You've been able to communicate with them.
Four-wheel drive only across that crossing, it's that bad.
I had a Japarra resident say that he can't stop at the one in Japarra on his motorbike because he can't put his foot down to steady himself. So he's got to go on the wrong side of the road to be able to stop. Terrible situation. Is it worth mentioning the meeting with Tony James at all?
Happy to talk. So I met with the owner of the Warwick Nabil Vet Clinic. He's looking at establishing a de-sexing clinic in Warwick Nabil, and so that would be available to assist Hindmarsh residents. And so we were just having a chat about how that would work and how we might be able to assist our residents by promoting the service, but also if they're struggling to transport their animals, how we as a council might be able to facilitate that. But there's further conversations once he's finalised his model that he's going to roll out. There'll be further conversations that will be held.
Yeah. All right, very good. Item 7, correspondence, and there is a recommendation. Sorry. Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I'm just wondering in regard to some of the inward correspondence that we received from the DGS to council, advising that they are giving us 85,000 for roadside weeds and pests program and 123,000 for funding our public libraries. I'm wondering is it enough, and if not, how much it would really should be provided.
I'm happy to
Ms. Ravel, sorry.
to respond. Council receives $85,000 for the pest and weeds program. It has criteria which we make sure we work within. We will spend up to the $85,000, but like anything, if they were going to give us more, we absolutely could accommodate further funding around pest and weeds. We know that we have significant road network, and so we have to strategically determine what we can and can't do. We work with the land care groups as well to identify strategic sites. In relation to the public libraries funding, we receive $123,000 per year to help fund our libraries. That $123,000 has been consistent for probably the last 5 years. We haven't seen an increase, but as you're aware, the costs of everything that we deliver is increasing, and so the funding gap onerous on council is becoming greater. Our libraries cost us about $300,000 last year to operate.
Yes, it's a bit disappointing. Thank you.
And I would believe that our roadside work with weeds and whatever is going to be significant this year with the growth, with all the extra rain we've had. Is that the case?
Yep.
So there's going to be a huge increase in cost in that. I know there's a lot of growth there that needs to be, people are already saying, well, you need to, and I can understand you can't go out there and slash roads and then go out there and do it again 3 weeks later. But it's certainly it's going to be a big cost this year, I would believe, from what I've seen of it all. So, okay, Councillor Clark.
Mayor, I'll just ask in relation to pests and weeds. Obviously, two issues that may arise is obviously the H5 bird flu and also locusts. I know we have discussed further about locusts, but can it just be addressed to our public? Is there any planning or is there anything gone into addressing the bird flu, or how do our public access information about the flu? And also in relation to the locust, what action's been taken, if any, with this potential issue coming up?
I'm happy to answer the questions. In relation to the bird flu, our staff, including myself, are attending a number of regular briefings. The Department of Agriculture are providing regular updates on where they're locating recent cases. We will be guided by the Department of Agriculture. They are the lead agency in relation to bird flu. If people, if the community has a look at our Facebook page this morning, we shared a webinar that's available for community members to join. There's all the information is on there. In relation to locusts, we've had internal discussions. We'll be looking and monitoring the situation in our public spaces. Around the end of September is when we're likely to see any action with hatchings of locusts, and so we'll respond appropriately at the time.
So would it be fair to say that we're sort of ready for it at this stage?
As ready as we can be.
At this stage, because obviously we're still not sure whether that's going to be an event that will occur. Thank you.
And just from councillor Clark's question at the land care meeting we had at Rainbow last week, the same discussion was brought up about the pest weeds and seeds and also the locusts. So they're going on other avenues as well to seek other funding. Saying we can't get it all through the Shire or the Department of Ag because the copies and local farmers are asking exactly the same questions. So digressing, land care from Rainbow are looking at that and also telling other land care groups, watch this space as well.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, nothing further. We have a recommendation. Councillor Clark.
Do I move the motion that council notes the attached correspondence?
Thank you. And a second, Councillor Barry. All in favour? Against, motion carried. Thank you. Item 8, Assembly of Councillor Records and a recommendation. Councillor Barry.
I recommend that the council notes the Assembly of Councillor Records as presented.
Thank you. And a second, Councillor Clark. No one wants to speak against the motion. All in favour? Against, motion carried. Thank you. No planning permits. Item 10, reports requiring decision. Fee waiver request. Council has received 2 fee waiver requests from the Nil Agricultural and Pastoral Society Incorporated. The first request seeks a waiver of transfer station fees for 6 tandem trailer loads of waste following our working bee to clean up the showgrounds in preparation for the 2026 Nil Show. The second request seeks a waiver of the waste trailer hire fees and transfer station fees for waste disposal following the annual show. The Nil hire fees and transfer station fees for waste disposal. The Nil AMP Society is a not-for-profit volunteer-led organisation that plays a significant role in fostering community participation, agricultural, education, economic activity and social connection through the delivery of the annual Nil Show and other community-based activities. This report seeks council consideration of the request to waive transfer station fees and hire of the waste trailer totalling a maximum of $2,000 in accordance with the requirements of council's fee waiver and reduction policy. Are there any questions? Councillor Barker.
Thank you, Mayor Ismay. I think the AMP societies in all of our towns are a really great initiative. And I have a question for our CEO, Ms. Ravel. Perhaps she could reflect or let me know or let us know, how does Hindmarsh Shire value and support township shows?
Yes, our shows are extremely important to our community, as I've noted in the report. They education around agriculture, but they're also really good for social connection. They bring in economic activity as well. They're all volunteer run, and so we absolutely want to support them in any way that we can.
And do we support each of the shows differently, or how do the different AMPs know that how council is supporting them, or how they can ask council for support?
Yeah, so we support them every year through the change of the Melbourne Cup public holiday to make sure that we declare a public holiday for Rainbow and Nil to encourage the community to attend the shows. But also our community development and wellbeing team are available as a first point of contact with council for anything that they may want support from council with as well.
Thank you.
Councillor Clark.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. My question is, in relation to, they've said, a request, the first part being 610 trailer loads of waste for a pre-show cleanup. Would any of this waste include hazardous materials, for example, asbestos or anything like that? Or are we just talking like weeds or general rubbish sort of pick up? Is that what I'm asking?
Yeah, so it will be just general waste that may have blown in since the last working bee, but also weeds. So any garden cleanup, any bushes that they're trimming, and so a lot of green waste.
Yeah,
as well.
certainly not asbestos or any of those hazards. Thank you.
Any further questions? If not, there is a motion there, or a recommendation at least. Councillor Barker.
Thank you. I would like to move that council approves the waiver of fees for the Nil AMP Society up to the value of $2,000 for hire of the waste trailer and disposal of waste in preparation for and following the 2026 Nil show.
Thank you. Can you second it? Councillor Barrett? No one wants to speak against the motion. Would you like to speak to the motion, Councillor Barrett?
Just quickly to reiterate that the shows are a really important event for all of our towns, and I was really pleased to hear the response by our CEO, Ms. Ravel, about how we can continue to support the different volunteers. So they're really big groups of volunteers that run these, and as working with young students, I hear the joy that they get from attending these shows, and all families and the participants in it. So it's a really great initiative that we continue to support. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Barrett?
No, I think it's a good way of keeping in kind with them to keep the joint clean.
Yep.
We need it clean.
Mm.
We don't want to dig a hole and bury it, do we?
All right. No, nothing further. Put the motion. All in favour? Against? The motion is carried. Thank you. Item 10.2, speed reduction on Wynnum East Road. This report seeks council's endorsement to submit an application to the Department of Transport and Planning to review the reduction to review and reduce the existing 80 kilometre speed limit to 60 kilometres on Wynnum East Road, Nil. Reducing the speed limit along a 250 metre stretch adjacent to the Western Highways is expected to improve motorist safety, particularly heavy vehicles, while navigating the constrained alignment of the intersection without impacting road productivity. Any questions? Councillor Clark.
Thank you, Mayor. In relation to the Wynnum East Road, my first question is on the Wynnum East Road leading up to the Western Highway. That's actually an uphill piece of road, is it not? For that basically 250 metres, is that correct?
That's correct.
And also too, my second question is not being a heavy vehicle driver, but would I presume that a heavy vehicle coming up towards that intersection would be slowing down anyway from the 100 kilometres down to a lower speed, just as a natural thing anyway? So in fact, would I be able to assume that this drop in speed limit would really not affect them in any way?
Yeah, so they're currently posted at 80 kilometres per hour, but they will be approaching, the vehicles approaching the Western Highway as a giveaway. So they will be slowing down. You would expect they will be slowing down to about 60 anyway. So
as a natural course of travel, yeah. And if I may, Mayor, hog the limelight. This section of road we're talking anyway, I'm looking at a photo here, but just for our members of the public watching, we have in sort of industrial businesses both sides of the Wynnum East Road there. Is that correct? In that 250 metres? So by reducing it to 60 would create less risk of an incident occurring, and those businesses use heavy vehicles. Is that correct?
that is correct. So basically, this the request is triggered following the request made by Beth Campbell, which we read through this, went through the question at the start of the council meeting. The Grain Receival Centre at the end of Reethers Drive, that generates a huge volume of heavy vehicles, and there has been reported near misses in that road, and that's why this is the part of the whole pressing safety.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, any further questions? If not, there is a recommendation. Councillor Clark.
Thank you, Mayor. Being a man of questions in regard to this, I'm happy to, I move that council authorises officers to submit a speed reduction application to the Department of Transport and Planning to reduce the speed limit to 60 kilometres an hour on a 250 metre section of Wynnum East Road, Nil, immediately south of the Western Highway intersection.
Thank you. And a seconder, councillor Aiken. Anyone want to speak against the motion? If not, would you like to speak to the motion, councillor Clark?
Look, Mayor, I think looking at this with my full-time role and also as a councillor, I could only just see this being a common sense thing. And yeah, I don't think there'd be any issues for our community to accept this.
All right. You don't want to comment, councillor Aiken? Okay, all right, put the motion, all in favour? Against, the motion is carried, thank you. Item 11, 11.1 advisory committees. And we have attachments from several different organisations there and a recommendation. Councillor.
I just have some questions for our CEO, Ms. Ravel, in regard to some expenditures that are mentioned in these reports. It's my understanding that the Japarat Town Committee is wanting to spend $29,500 on their town entrance. My understanding is that this is from their own funds, from their committee's funds?
Yes.
And would that be the same for Rainbow investing $4,000 to their land care providers as well?
Yes, so both allocations will come from their town committee funds.
Okay, and we approve those when we put this motion through?
Yes, so with the $4,000, that will be remitted to the land care group, but the town entry signage works will follow council's procurement policy.
Okay, interesting. Thank you.
Okay, any further questions? If not, there is a recommendation. Councillor Barker.
Thank you. Mayor Ismay, I'm happy to move that Council 1 notes the minutes of the following advisory committees, which is A, Japarat Township meeting held on the 15th of July 2026, B, the Rainbow Township meeting held on the 20th of July 2026, and C, the Nil Township meeting held on the 4th of August 2026. And 2, we note the financial statements for the months of July 2026 for the following advisory committees, A, Japarat, B, Nil, C, Rainbow, and 3, approve the request for Rainbow Township Advisory Committee to allocate $4,000, excluding GST, to the Rainbow Land Care Group to complete upgrades to the walking track at the rear of the Rainbow Recreation Reserve. And 4, appoints Gabby Williams to the Hindmarsh Pride Committee.
Thank you, Councillor Barker. Is there a second? Councillor Clark. Anyone like to speak against the motion? If not, would you like to speak to the motion, Councillor Barker?
Look, I met Gabby recently, once again. She's quite active in Japarat, and I met her recently at the get-together that we had for the Japarat Wear, and she was keen to be involved with the Hindmarsh Pride Committee, and I think that was, it's good to see people putting their hands up to volunteer for different committees in our region. So, and also Gabby is also really proactive with the petition that she arranged with Emma Keeley that's available online, and we're, it's only up to 300. Surely we can get more than that to sign the petition so that we can let our governments know how important the Japarat Wear is to all of us here in Hindmarsh at a minimum. Thank you.
I take it the petition is available on our website
Yes.
and all that stuff. It would be, wouldn't it? Yeah. All right, Councillor Clark.
Eva, just 2 quick things here in relation to the walking track at Rainbow. I'm a fair user of it, contrary to the way my shirt indicates otherwise, but I think it's a fantastic thing that gets quite a bit of use and will get even more use once the improvements have been done. And second of all, I think any committee that Gabby Williams gets on, that committee's certainly about to receive a big positive.
Nice.
All right. All right, I'll put the motion. All in favour? Against, the motion carried. Thank you. Item 11.2, community asset committees, and again, a recommendation. Councillor Clark.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the council notes the minutes of the following community asset committees A and B. 2 endorses the following office bearers for the Yeronga Homestead Community Asset Committee for the current term, being the chairperson and the secretary treasurer there as A and B. And 3 endorses the following office bearers for the Wimmera Mallee Pipeline Museum Community Asset Committee for a period of 12 months of the chairperson, vice president and assistant secretary treasurers A, B and C listed.
Thank you, Councillor Clark. The seconder? Councillor Barry. Anyone like to speak against the motion? You'd like to speak to the motion, Councillor Clark?
Just if I can, just very quickly, those office bearers there, I know all of them, and again, I think it's just fantastic that they're on board and taking on these roles. So I think that's brilliant. Great people to have.
Thank you, Councillor Barry. All right, put the motion. All in favour? Against, the motion's carried. Thank you. All right, item 12, late reports nil, notice of motion nil, other business. Councillor Aitken.
No.
Councillor Clark.
No, thank you, Mayor.
No, thank you, Mayor, it's no.
Councillor Barry.
Oh, just one thing, you've got the, in all your socials on the newsletter, there's a free green waste coming up. What?
September.
What day are you going to clean up the streets? Cost you nothing, done. That's my other business.
All right, Councillor Hoy. I don't think I've got any other things I need to raise either, so no confidential reports, no late controversial reports. Item 17, meeting closed, and before we do close, thank you anyone and everyone that was watching this afternoon.